October 21st, 1978. The rugged coast of Australia melts into a fiery sunset. For most, it's the end of a day. For 20-year-old pilot Frederick Valentich, it's the beginning of a routine flight that will become one of aviation's most enduring mysteries. His mission: a simple 125-mile training run from Moorabbin, Victoria, to King Island, in his single-engine Cessna 182. A clear evening, calm seas, and a young pilot with just over 150 hours of flight time. But as dusk turned to darkness over the vast expanse of the Bass Strait, something went terribly wrong. Valentich was not just flying into the night. He was flying into the unknown. The air traffic controller's voice crackles to life. A routine check-in. Melbourne, this is Delta, Sierra Juliet. Do you have any traffic below 5,000 feet? Frederick's voice, calm at first, responds, negative, no known traffic in the area. The cockpit is a small, quiet world, bathed in the soft glow of instruments. Below, the ocean is a dark, endless mirror. The hum of the Cessna's engine is a comforting, constant drone. But this comfort is about to be shattered. The routine is about to break. A new transmission comes from Valentich, his voice now laced with a hint of confusion. Melbourne, this is Delta Sierra Juliet. Is there any known traffic below 5,000? Again, the controller confirms the skies are clear. Valentich presses on. It seems to be a large aircraft below 5,000. Silence hangs in the air for a moment. A large aircraft, unidentified. Out here, the controller scans his radar, seeing nothing but the single blip of Valentich's Cessna aircraft. He relays this back, but Frederick's next words send a chill through the control room. It seems to be approaching me from due east. It seems to be playing some sort of game, flying over me 2-3 times at speeds I can't identify. The situation escalates. What began as a simple query has now become a tense report of an unknown aerial phenomenon. Valentich describes the object with a growing sense of urgency. He sees 4 bright lights, which he first assumes are landing lights. But then he adds a detail that defies all conventional explanation. The aircraft has just passed over me, at least 1,000 feet above. It's long, but I can't identify the shape. It's so fast. On the ground, the controller, Steve Roby, remains professional, trying to get a clear picture. Can you describe the aircraft? Valentich struggles for words. It's got a green light, and it's sort of metallic. It's all shiny on the outside. The radio transmissions become more frantic. Valentich's controlled pilot's tone gives way to genuine bewilderment and fear. Melbourne, it's hovering, and it's not an aircraft. This statement hangs in the air, a stark contradiction. An object that can outpace his Cessna, then stop dead in the sky. It doesn't fit the profile of any known plane or helicopter from that era. His voice rises slightly. Delta Sierra Juliet. The engine is idling around. I've got it set at 23, 24, and I'm just coughing. The mechanical reliability of his aircraft is now failing. Is it a coincidence? Or is it related to the strange object that haunts him in the sky? Suddenly, Valentich exclaims, "It's vanished!" A moment of relief? Perhaps, but it's short-lived. Seconds later, his voice returns, strained. Melbourne, is that strange aircraft still hovering over me? The controller can only repeat what his screens show him. Delta Sierra Juliet. No aircraft is in your vicinity. The disconnect between what Valentich is seeing and what radar is showing is absolute. He's alone out there, yet he insists he is not. He's describing a direct, personal, and terrifying encounter with something inexplicable. The green light, the metallic shine, the impossible maneuvers. It's a pilot's worst nightmare, unfolding in real time over a remote stretch of ocean. The final transmission from Frederick Valentich is the most chilling of all. His voice is tense, describing the object once more. Then, a strange sound cuts through the static, not human, not mechanical. A harsh, metallic, scraping noise. 17 seconds of it. And then, silence. Utter, complete silence. Delta Sierra Juliet, Melbourne. The controller's voice rings out in the silence. No response. He tries again and again. Nothing. The blip that was Frederick Valentich's Cessna 182 had vanished from the radar screen, a young pilot and his plane swallowed by the night sky. An immediate and massive search and rescue operation was launched. Air Force planes, civilian aircraft, and boats scoured the base Strait for days. They searched for any sign of wreckage, an oil slick, a life raft, anything that could explain what happened. But they found nothing. It was as if the Cessna and its pilot had simply ceased to exist. The official investigation from the Department of Transport concluded that the reason for the disappearance could not be determined. They listed the outcome as presumed fatal. A cold, bureaucratic end to a story that felt anything but ordinary. The report noted that Valentich might have become disoriented and crashed, but it couldn't explain his detailed reports of another aircraft. Theories began to surface almost immediately. Skeptics proposed that Valentich, a young pilot with a history of flying-related infractions, had become spatially disoriented. They suggested he might have been flying upside down, seeing the reflections of his own plane's lights on the water and mistaking them for another craft. In this scenario, the final metallic sounds were the sounds of his own plane breaking apart as it hit the ocean. It's a plausible, rational explanation. But does it truly account for his specific descriptions? The long shape, the green light, the object hovering. His father, Guido Valentich, later revealed that his son was a firm believer in UFOs and had been deeply concerned about potential attacks from them. Had his belief colored his perception, or had he truly encountered something otherworldly? Then there are the eyewitnesses. Dozens of people along the Victorian coast reported seeing strange lights in the sky that same night, around the same time as Valentich's disappearance. A plumber reported seeing a fast-moving green light drop into the sea. Farmers saw an erratically moving green light in the sky that hovered for a time over their property. These accounts, gathered after the fact, paint a picture of unusual aerial activity across the region, lending credence to the idea that Frederick Valentich was not hallucinating. Was this a coordinated event? A mass sighting that culminated in one of history's most baffling disappearances? The object to describe remains unidentified, its purpose unknown. 46 years later, the mystery of Flight Delta Sierra Juliet endures. No wreckage has ever been definitively identified. No trace of Frederick Valentich has ever been found. He remains a ghost, a voice on a fading radio transmission, forever suspended in those final, terrifying moments. His story has become a cornerstone of UFO lore, a chilling piece of evidence for those who believe we are not alone. For others, it is a tragic tale of pilot error and the unforgiving nature of the sea and sky. But for all, it is an unsolved puzzle. A man took off on a clear evening and, under the watch of air traffic control, reported a close encounter with an impossible object before he and his plane vanished from the face of the earth. The truth remains out there, lost somewhere in the vast, silent darkness over the Bazy Strait. What do you think really happened to Frederick Valentich? Share your thoughts in the comments.